Right, we're live. After a few technical issues, I'm still having a few problems with the streaming, but welcome to a Tech Talk Thursday. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the iPhone 11. Lots and lots of news to go through, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about if I'm disappointed with the news or I'm not disappointed with the news, whether I'm going to go for the new iPhone or not, because I'm definitely 100% switching back to iPhone. I know that. I'm not entirely sure which iPhone yet, so in this episode we're going to talk a little bit about it. If you're new to the channel, if you watch this further on down the line, welcome. These are live Tech Talk Thursdays. We do these episodes every Thursday, theoretically, and we talk about all the news of the week in technology, and there isn't any other bigger news than the iPhone release this week. I don't think so anyway. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. If you're one of my regular subscribers and one of my regular commenters, welcome. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and press a bell so you don't miss any uploads. Loads of good stuff coming soon. Just been a little bit of a busy period family wise over the last few weeks and going forward into October. A little bit of background, my brother's getting married next month, so it's just absolute chaos. So there is a lot of vlogs, reviews, lots of stuff going on. TubeFix, how you doing, mate? How's it going, Chris? Welcome to the live stream. Just doing dinner. That's what I like to. Well-trained husband. That's what I like to see. So yeah, lots of stuff coming soon. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Really appreciate it. Just hit 400 subscribers, which is massive. Over the last year and a half, I never ever thought I'd get to 400. It's just been crazy. When I made 24, I thought that I made on YouTube. It was fantastic. So let's dive into the iPhone 11. I just want to compare the models to see which one I'm going to be going for, if I'm going to be going for that one. Yeah, the Chris TubeFix says, like the new iPhone and watch. Thanks for the well done on 400. Thanks, Mum. Yeah, the watch. I've got the Series 3 and it's really good. I love the cellular data. You can go out with nothing on, no phone on you, which is the bonus about it. And it works with the AirPods really well. I really like the new one. I really want it. But at this precise moment in time, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. But we'll see what happens. We're just going to have a quick look. Let's make sure I've got the iPhone comparison on here. I just wanted to look at the models because I wanted to first talk about which one is the right iPhone for you, or is it even worth upgrading this time, or is it worth waiting for the 2020 iPhone, which is rumoured to have a massive overhaul, a massive design change even. So we're just going to go here. We're looking at the iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro. I'm not so sure about the Pro because, as we'll see going through the specs, there's not much about it that makes it Pro over the iPhone 11. I don't think so anyway. These are just my personal views. So you got the Pro and you got the iPhone 11, which is effectively the replacement for the XR. Now it's starting at £729. I thought it was 700 because the XR started at 750, so it starts cheaper than the XR, which is interesting. My wife has got the XR and it's a brilliant phone. So at the moment, this is one that I'm going to be going for, and we're going to look at the specs, and I'll tell you the reasons why I think that's the one I'll be going for. So the iPhone 11 is actually a little bit bigger than the iPhone 11 Pro. This is replacing the XS, the 11 Pro, and then the XS Max is being replaced by the 11 Pro Max, and then the 11 replaces the XR. Got that? It's all very confusing. We've got the colours. They're doing it in this nice midnight green this year, which is it's very nice. A lot of people are going for the leather cases, I've noticed. This sort of rustic Peter McKinnon kind of look that people like. So the midnight green is, I think, has been born from that sort of thing. Let's just check the chat if I can. Yep. TubeFix says, I think the low light camera is a good addition. Yeah, we're gonna definitely go over to that now. So we're looking at the I like the colours. We've got the purple, there's yellow, there's a green, sort of a minty green, isn't it? I think I'd probably go for the black. Then you've got the product red and the white. I do like the look of the black. So a quick look at the specs. We'll decide whether we think the iPhone Pro is worth it or not. So 5.8 inches compared to 6.1 on the 11, and you got the 6.5 on the bigger phone. I think I'm going to stick to a smaller phone this time. I've been using the what's this? Samsung S10 Plus. It's just a little bit big, I must admit, and I'm getting a bit frustrated with it. We might touch on that. So the design differences: you've got textured matte glass on the back, opposed to glossy finish on the 11. The cameras, the only difference is it's got a telephoto camera on the Pro version. The actual camera itself, 12 megapixel ultra wide and wide, is ultra wide and wide on the 11, and then it comes with that night mode, which the 11 has as well. So they've all got those same. So there's not a massive difference unless you want the telephoto. All 12 megapixel true depth camera with 4K video recording up to 60 frames per second. So they've all got that. All phones have got that. They've all got Face ID. It's supposed to be a nicely improved Face ID this time, so you can leave it flat on the table and it'll be able to pick you up. I think that's for when you're going into shops. When I go into Aldi, it's a bit odd when you're doing Face ID trying to do this and scan it on the machine as well. So yeah, good addition. All the phones have the A13 Bionic chip, which is the 3rd generation neural engine, which is supposed to be faster. All the phones are always faster, thinner, better. It's always the best iPhone ever. Battery life is a little bit of a difference. So the battery life on the 11 Pro is up to 4 hours longer. So that's a big improvement. On the 11, it's only an hour longer. Now, I know for a fact that the battery on my wife's XR is already really good. So, yeah, not bad. Water resistance, 4 meters compared to the 2 meters on the 11. I don't know many people that are going to be diving down more than 2 meters. Most swimming pools, most gym swimming pools, most swimming pools abroad are no more than 2 meters. So, yeah, I would suggest that phone. I wouldn't like to try it, but I suggest that the 11 will be able to go a bit further than 2 meters for a couple of minutes if you do drop it by accident. Difference in capacity is that the Pro goes up to 512 gigabytes. It's still keeping that 64 gigabyte for a Pro phone. Is it Pro? Not really. So you can go up to 256 gigabytes on the 11. The big difference, one of the other big differences is the screen. So you're just sticking with the Liquid Retina HD display on the iPhone 11, and then the stupidly named Super Retina XDR display on the Pro versions of the phone, which is, you know, I don't know why they're calling. Oops, sorry guys. The camera, I don't think the camera does 24 frames per second, Chris. I think it's 60 frames per second and 30 frames per second in 4K. Maybe it does in 1080. We'll try and dive into the things a little bit more if we can. So yeah, the other difference with the screen and the screen and the camera is that it's got a HDR display, which is it's, I don't know, if you're somebody that looks for something and you have a real eye for this kind of technology, maybe you'll know the difference. But everyday use, watching Netflix and people that just take photos and browse the internet, you're not going to see the difference. I don't think so. Like I said, my wife's got the XR and it's a really, really good screen. So you've got that 2000 to 1 contrast ratio compared to the 1400 to 1 contrast ratio. You know, if I don't really understand all these figures, but it's got 800. I know it makes it a brighter screen. It's got 800 nits compared to 625 nits max brightness on the 11. So, apart from that, they've got the same chips. They've got more or less the same cameras. It's going to be the same speed. The batteries aren't that much different. Oh, here you are, Chris. Video recording 24 frames per second. 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second in 4K. And then 1080p is 30 frames per second or 60. Extended dynamic range for video up to 60 frames per second. Then it's got audio zoom, what's that? Quick take video, slow-mo. Now the front facing camera also supports slow-mo, which is really, really cool. Slow-mo support for 1080p at 120 frames per second or 240 frames per second. Now, it's decent slow-mo, and when you're trying to buy a camera, for instance, you'd have to spend a lot of money to get something that shoots 120 frames per second in 1080p. Trust me, I'm always looking for that camera that's got 120 frames per second. So having it on your phone is ideal, actually. And maybe I should start using my phone more for YouTube videos. It's time-lapse video with stabilization. Okay, so yes, like I said, the front-facing camera is a 12 megapixel, same across the board. Flash retina, portrait mode, same across the board. 4K video, 120, 720, 4K video, 24 frames, 30 and 60 frames per second, all across the board. So for me personally, I don't think the Pro warrants the name or the price tag, to be quite honest. So it's it's over £300 more than the 11. Are you going to spend £300 more and £400 more for the Max over the 11? I'm not. Definitely not. So, Hendrik, how's it going? I'm a Pro telephone caller now. Are you? Does that mean you're getting the Pro, Hendrik? Which phone are you going for? I'm going for the 11, as we've just discussed. Yeah. I don't think there's any. There's definitely no reason why it's called a Pro over the iPhone 11. Personally, I had toyed with the idea of going for the XR, and we'll just have a quick look. See how much they're selling the XR for now. Do you have an iPhone to trade in now? 629. Okay, so you've got all these finishes. You can get it in 64 or 120. Can we have a look at the tech specs, please? Tech specs. So same screen, liquid retina, same as that, multi-touch. It's got the same contrast ratio as before. It's still got the same max nits. It's got the A12, which is realistically not going to make that much difference. It's got the 12 megapixel camera, wide camera with a 1.8. Was it 2.2 on the new one? Yeah, 4K video recording, 24, 30, 60, HD, 30 or 60. I don't see much difference between this and the new. So the front true depth camera, is that the front facing one, is 7 megapixels, so okay. Apple Pay, location calling, video playback, H.264. See, that is my point. There isn't a massive difference apart from the chip, the battery, and the wide-angle camera. The screen and everything else is the same. So, if it was me, Hendrik has the Max. Okay, so you have the XS Max, Hendrik. I'm definitely switching back to iPhone. I've been using, like I said, the S10 Plus for a while, and there's just a few quirks with it. So, for instance, when I'll click off, if I lock that down, the fingerprint isn't very reliable. Every time I sort of press a button or swipe up, it goes to the Apple Pay, and I can't get off it. It really annoys me. I can't get off the Apple Pay, and I don't want to set it as default, and I don't want to change it. No, I want to get off, and this is what I'm having on a daily basis. The phone itself, screen, beautiful, cameras, really good, fast, nice and quick. Really, it's just a fantastic phone, but it's just these little Android things that really annoy you on a daily basis, and it's starting to grind me down. I've had it for about 10 months now, and I'm ready to go back for iPhone. Plus, I can't use my iPhone we go back to that. I can't use my iPhone. Sorry, I can't use my Apple Watch with that, so I'm losing all my data on a daily basis. So, yeah, it's definitely iPhone time to switch. But going through those specs, looking at the iPhones, it's something that I definitely think I'm going to go back to the X, or maybe even just downgrade to the XR. and use that for a year until the new 2020 version comes out next year, and we see what kind of design they come out with. Anything new? Is it going to be air power? Is it going to be wireless reverse charging? Are we going to have some kind of folding device maybe from Apple? Maybe, I don't know. That'll be really exciting. Are they going to play with the watch? Are they going to make it better, or are they just going to update it? I don't know what to do, but I'm definitely going back to Apple, although they frustrate the hell out of me. Hendrix saying the iPhone was better for me when I used the Mac. I did try Android on a tablet a while ago, but it didn't work for me. No, yeah, that is a problem. I've switched to PC recently, so it's not so bad. So I do use, for transferring files, Dropbox, which is a bit unreliable as well, to be honest, and you have to pay for that. So going back to maybe using the Mac a little bit more. I've got an old Mac Pro for doing basic vlogs. When it comes to doing graphics for Photoshop and After Effects, I need the PC because of the power. But just for editing vlogs, I can go back to maybe going back to Final Cut just to do some easy vlogs and stuff, and then I can airdrop stuff, which would be really good. So yeah, there's also going back to iMessage. We're using WhatsApp a lot with friends and family, so it'd be nice to go back to iMessage and have that sort of group thing back. So yeah, decision made. I think we're going to try and get a decent deal. Yeah, I remember you saying that, Hendrik. Yeah, that's either a waste of wine or is it an expensive mistake for the MacBook Pro? Yeah, yeah, not a good idea, dude. So I keep all food and drink away from my studio professional wine spiller, as well as a professional photo taker and phone caller. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I keep all food and drink away from the PC setup in the studio here. So that's a little look at the iPhone 11 then, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hendrik and Chris, thanks for enjoy your dinner. And Hendrik, thanks for popping in, mate. It's got to be late there, doesn't it, dude? Should be getting some sleep, shouldn't you, pretty soon. And yeah, make sure you tune in next week for Tech Talk Thursday. We're undecided what we're going to talk about yet, but I will do the research in the week and see what else is popping up on the radar. Maybe some new phones coming out, maybe some other stuff. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and we'll see you on the next live stream. See you soon. Bye, guys.